r/AskReddit. Waiters are grate cheese until customers say stop. What's the longest you've ever gone for? Probably about 30 seconds. It felt like a ducking eternity and I slowed down a few times because it seemed excessive and the man just kept saying no. Keep going. Worst part was that it was over a steak. Edit. For some clarification, there was also some pasta on his plate if I recall, which is why I offered to grate some cheese for him initially. My first time at an Olive Garden. I got some soup with my pasta and the waitress came over to grate some cheese on. Unfortunately, nobody had explained to me that I had to tell her when to stop. She started grating and just kept going. After a little while, it occurred to me that this seemed kinda excessive, but hey, she's done this plenty of times before. She must know best, right? Anyway, a few seconds later I'm looking around the table with a look on my face as if to say, are you guys seeing what she's doing to my soup? When I realize that everyone else is staring in mixed disgust and horror, not at the waitress, but at me. I quickly realize my mistake and am barely able to get out of that seems pretty good before sinking into my seat and sticking a spoon into a bowl almost entirely filled with cheese, along with a small, by comparison, amount of soup. Wasn't the waitress able to say just tell me when? Or was she some kind of cheese grating robot? We asked our waiter at Olive Garden if they had a limit. He said no, but he did say that one customer made another waiter go through 3 blocks of cheese before the customer told him to stop. My hard of hearing grandpa took me to lunch at Olive Garden several years ago. He owned hearing aids but never wore them. The waiter does the whole tell me when to stop. Grandpa doesn't hear this and lets him grate for over a minute and before throwing his hands in the air saying, in a very irritated tone, whoa, 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 easy on the cheese there. Waiter definitely thought grandpa was ache. Honestly, he sort of was. Used to work at Olive Garden. Very few people actually live up to their hype. The amount of people who said they were cheese freaks and stopped after not even 2 turns of the grater was insane. But the longest was a couple whose husband loved cheese and he took probably 2 blocks on his soup. I usually tell the people like this that I'm actually happy because they live up to their hype. Most of the time, when I get the cheese on top, it just makes me feel awkward. Cause I'm always out with friends and they give me the weirdest looks, so I just stop at around 45 seconds. I once told the server at an Olive Garden how my girlfriend's mom always wanted one of those graters. I half jokingly said I'd leave an extra tip if she left it behind. She proceeded to grate the cheese and walked away from the table with her grater and without a word. Thinking I just made a fool of myself, I sheepishly ate my soup while my girlfriend laughed at me. 5 minutes later, the server comes towards our table with something concealed in a red fabric napkin. She said sit down next to my plate. No eye contact and no stopping. I opened the napkin. Boom, it's the cheese grater, with half a block of cheese still inside. Feeling like a boss. Girlfriend is impressed. I'm a master con man. The perfect bad boy. Clearly, my girlfriend will be sharing this daring moment with her friends tonight on AIM. We eat our meal, get the occasional I got your back looks from the server, drop an extra $10 tip, cause I'm a boss and all. I drive my girlfriend home. I give her mom her wish. She says there is still cheese in it. Me, don't sweat it, it's yours. That mom is now my mother-in-law. Flawless victory. Finally one of these I can answer. I'm a server at Olive Garden and I have heard every joke that can be made about how much cheese you want. Keep going until your arm falls off, go until you can't anymore, how you're gonna get a good arm workout in, you don't have enough cheese. The people who joke aren't the ones who get a lot of cheese. The ones that I'm always scared of are the ones who don't say anything and just smile and say keep going. I once had a skinny older woman come in and order a salad and a shrimp scampi, one of our most popular meals. Now when the salad came out I obliged them and asked you just tell me when, I'm on command. And she just smiled and made me keep going. Now they got me all the way through 1 block of cheese and asked for more. Okay, so 2 blocks. That's a lot, but I've seen it before. When her food came out is when the terror hit. She just smiled and kept going. She made me run back to the kitchen 3 times to grab new cheese blocks. This lady had a literal plate of cheese with some pasta and shrimp underneath that you couldn't see and I know she couldn't taste. She tipped well so it was worth it, but 5 blocks of cheese for one person is way too much for any human to digest. I dread how her toilet felt the following week. I also work at Olive Garden and we have this man we call the mozzarella man who is a frequent with his wife. No matter what he orders, He always wants a tower of cheese on it. When I had went to serve him the first time, he turned to me and said, "Honey, you better go get another grater because I'm about to tower that cheese block on my soup." Needless to say, I was horrified and quite entertained. 3 more times that meal, appetizer, salad and entree, he had quite literally asked for a tower of cheese, and every time he ate the entire tower. I ask this to most of my Olive Garden waiters and waitresses. Normally they'll talk about a customer they've had that wanted 1 or 2 full blocks grated onto their food. One waiter told me that he grated 2 whole blocks of cheese onto this person's soup, which he didn't mind doing, but it took a while. When they left, the person hadn't even touched their soup, and just left it there with a mountain of grated cheese on top. Edit. That same waiter was really ducking cool, too. We made an offhanded comment about how much we liked the cheese graters they used, so he snuck one out of the staff area in a to-go bag and gave it to us. As well, my dad got the endless pasta and I asked him what was the highest number of plates he'd seen someone eat. He said that at a different location, an NBA player came in and ordered endless pasta. He ate 13 ducking plates of pasta and vomited before leaving the building. Yakima, Washington, Olive Garden. Me and a buddy ordered endless pasta. After our 4 bowl we got told that if we wanted any more we would have purchased another order. My buddy and I made a point of asking where that was stated and if we needed to provide the manager what the word endless means. We ended up getting our 5th plate. Funny thing is we were planning on stopping after 4, but after the manager told us we were cut off we made a point of ordering another plate. Made a mountain that was slightly larger than the Lady Shrimp Alfredo once at Red Lobster. I remember having to go get another cheese block. She was part of a group that later complained about my service, resulting in the entire table being calmed. They left me $5 on what was a $300 check. Last time the wife, kids, and I went to Olive Garden. I know, fine dining. The server just left the grater at the table. She definitely got over 20% from us. Customer here. I asked how much we are allowed to get. The waitress said, "As much as you want." I replied, "You don't have that much." Turns out, I was wrong. I used to work at an Italian restaurant where we grated cheese like this. On one particular instance, I was grating and watching to make sure I was aiming on the food correctly. All of a sudden, I see this tiny roach fall out. Without missing a beat, I picked up the plate and made some excuse about how something wasn't right and I would bring it right back. I take it to the kitchen and they redo it in a flash and we deep clean everything immediately. But now every time I get offered grated cheese, I'm like, nah, I'm good. People are always like, "OMG, I like a lot," then proceed to get a little bit of cheese. I really don't care how much cheese you want. Bring it on, cheeseheads. Last week the waiter asked if I wanted cheese. I said yes and he acknowledged, and I sat there a good 5 minutes until I realized he wasn't coming back. I can only imagine he got lost on the way back and is grating cheese onto an empty plate, and will continue for eternity until I return and awkwardly say thanks. Holy, it my time to shine. Obligatory, not a waiter, but when I was like 12 or 13 I was that person who waited forever. The problem was, I didn't realize I was supposed to tell them to stop. I figured they had a cheese quota or allotment that they gave out on a plate by plate basis. About 15-20 seconds in, which is a long time when cheese is being grated, I started wondering if they liked me more than other customers. By 25 seconds in I'm marveling at amazement at the small mountain of palm forming. At 30 seconds the poor waiter clears his throat. I look up and he's got his eyebrow raised. Oh, am I supposed to say stop? Dead look in eyes, yes. 10 more seconds pass. Okay, that's good. I mean, hell, I figured it had been that long, might as well make the most of it. Sorry, random waiter at Eastside Mario's. I've posted this here before but it's too food not to post again. So I made this blind guy a Greek salad once. We have to do it tableside for presentation BS. The dude was blind so I was kinda half sing it but his wife was there and she wasn't blind. Anyway, when I ask if he wants crushed black pepper he says yeah, smother it. So I proceed to grind a ton of pepper on this dude's salad. I stop when I can literally see no salad, only pepper, and his wife then tells me to keep going. So I pour on a little more. My wrist is actually cramping at this point. She says that's good, sweetie. Then this ducking guy gets his fork and digs in. His first bite was 80% pepper. He chews, swallows, and says, "Why don't you leave the pepper grinder here, kid?" I'd really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. Thank you for watching.
for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to be entered into our iMac giveaway.